could win, and there's certainly good skirmishing options, but I think getting to that point where Sol just completely outscaled them, and they're not being hit by Nocturne, which
Twisted Fate plus Shen.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had these side lane monsters attacking everywhere. Is Fnatic setting up for a dive bot lane?
They are indeed. They've slowly been working towards this, and Razork now has Parus in place. Nice pulverize though. Parus pops away Mikyx because he wants to rework it into Razork. Ends up being a 1-for-1. Upset now has to run out before Ice turns it into more. Humanoid is going to be a follow-up gank. 113 has an angle here. Standing in place, Humanoid gets chunked. 113 doesn't get the range. Chunked a little bit. Ice is going on hit, but still, Q hurts like anything. As 113 starts up Grub, spawns some mites. He thinks about it, but wants to pop the ultimate, and into the shadows he goes, and Stand United interrupted, but it gets the shield. 113 sets up for Ice to get the kill. That's 2 on the Varus, as Mikyx is going to be a re-dive, but Tangle Barbs hits onto 2. Good burst, and Parus in trouble. He took a turret shot. The minion wave was cleared. Well done by Mikyx once again as he's brought company. Razork has ultied in and ultied down. Ice will not be able to move. No sleeping safe and sound either. 113 gets away with his life, but that all started with the rebound thanks to Mikyx.
Series versus G2. I want to say it was game 3.
It was game 1, wasn't it?
No, it was game 3.
We looked at it just before.
We won. He won in that game, and they lost game 1.
Okay, well, it wasn't game 1, ladies and gentlemen. Paranoia comes in. Let's spark it up. 113 has no follow-up, though, so Mikyx gets thrown in. Pop Blossom, 2-man, and whatever game it was, Vedi, it was a bloody good one. Mikyx's doing it again, and Fnatic are starting to run
Very difficult for them.
Irrelevant's also in Fog of War. Maybe that's why Fnatic are proceeding backwards as Mikyx disguises himself, but Herald's just going to be gone. The fight afterwards is Razork onto Parus, pops the Unbreakable Will. There's the Paranoia. Here comes the dive, and Stand United Shockwave. It all lands. An Upset is first to go. The ulti in response, but Mikyx does it again. He said his Neeko's great, and he's showing it once more. The skies are descending for Fnatic as Humanoid gets a good ulti, but look at Ice. Betty, you told me to watch the on-hit. He follows up afterwards. Mikyx can't save the play. And 113 with a triple kill. Finally, BDS surge to life.
I mean,
Shen
they're
ulti's
just
up.
gonna give this. Okay. Well, I didn't think that a team would just start this one up, but I was wrong. Nicely secured.
So maybe in solo queue when people are a bit more lazy to pick up flowers because they don't know how much it's actually worth, which is between 20 to 40 gold, depending on where you're at per flower. As Parus might be caught out. Caught out in his own jungle. Unbreakable Will there. Fnatic might have found a pick, but Parus gets out thanks to the Wolf. And the Will keeps him alive. Meanwhile, top lane, Irrelevant has no turret there, and he might be close to dying, but all it takes is a flash, and Oscarinin will match it hand in hand. Paranoia in response, but the cooldown's needed. You get yourself a shield. Oscarinin, he's already burnt the flash, but eventually dies. That's a pick for BDS while Fnatic get the Dragon in response.
Bit too deep there from Oscar. Not out of towers left for them to take. So it becomes a little bit harder for them to decide on the next play.
Parus has to be careful again. Razork's going to smite him down. Tangle Barbs. Unbreakable Will is pulled out again. No objective up until 45 seconds, but that's the Baron. So Fnatic want to edge onto this. Parus has now run out of his ulti. He'll be caught out and taken down. Upset with the kill, and Oscarinin, even though
a little bit more concerned because given that the map is completely dark for them, they're going to fish for what they can to get some information.
Paranoia, that's the fish onto Mikyx over the wall. He's so low as well. He'll be feared and eventually corrupted by the night. 113 has opened it up, and that Baron may shed a blight.
And this is the risk that we were talking about. Going into these areas of darkness, Nocturne is quickly able to collapse onto you, and so BDS find themselves a pick, and they'll start off the Baron.
Ice is going to do this incredibly quick. Look at the on-hit beginners. Fnatic have to play this numbers game with a disadvantage. Mikyx's up in 10, but nowhere nearby. Teleport burned in. BDS in front of the Baron. The engage starts off again. The skies will eventually descend upon them. The weight of the world seems heavy, but Upset is who we now watch. Setting up with a rend in hand. Razork jumps in, but hiding back his eyes. He's still hitting Baron though, and Baron's hitting back. Upset's getting reset off it, and I'm worried. I'm so worried that again, Upset will put everyone in tears.
That's a triple kill for Upset. And remember that in the earlier engage, BDS were targeting Upset. This time around, Upset could play without the fear of that wombo combo coming through. The Baron is going to be turned over to Fnatic.
Ice. Oi, oi, oi. A little bit late. Upset flushes over the whole wave. It's a skill check again between AD carries. Highlights over to Upset, but Humanoid made sure that this 3-item is big, but the submarine starts it off again. Under the water we go, Parus. 3-man knockup is good, and there's the first kill for Ice. He has open season. Mikyx can't get him, but Oscarinin knocks him into Razork's hand. A pulverize in response. Upset's still alive, and again the battle of AD carries seems to be won out by none other than the Fnatic AD carry. Once again, Fnatic makes sure this fight remains theirs.
BDS don't want the game to slow down. They don't want the momentum to go back in the favor of Fnatic. So they pull the trigger again. They lock down Humanoid. They do get the kill. But this time around, again, they don't have any threat onto Upset. And when you give this man the freedom to free hit, he tears your team apart.
Got a Chuck show. He's only 2 items with damage, but it seems to be enough. And he seems to be so hard to kill. Open inhibitor through mid. 6k gold lead, and all of a sudden Fnatic are setting this air. And once again, like, Mikyx goes in at 100 HP. He's thrown in. Lights are turned off. Looking for the switch as Oscarinin just goes blindly. His team were elsewhere. Oscar's going to buy some time as Fnatic need to help him. Eat some humble pie. Shockwave used, but Oscar's out of the way. Now here's the re-engage. Nuke goes golden. He buys some time. 113 tries to get him out of the way, but there's a semi-ult coming through while Ice needs to poke, but Humanoid's already killed off one, and the chase begins yet again. Mikyx Neeko does it so much better. You watch Upside with the Stand United under the turret mean absolutely nothing. Fnatic are playing with fire, and BDS are burning their feet.
Humanoid melts through the lineup of BDS with the skies falling, getting a nice stun onto Nuke. The Dragon's Breath doing monumental damage. It's another ace in favor of Fnatic. And BDS, they find themselves with little to defend their Nexus.
It's Fnatic who are really fighting to show their worth of first place, and this series is giving us a lot of data. The first team to lock in playoffs. All it takes is a Nexus explosion as Parus gets explosive cast back, and his ulti, it's not up and available, so that's an ace. Fnatic will move closer to 10k into the final blow. Paranoia against the Gragas. There will be an E coming up. He gets over the wall. 113 has no one else. There's Upset. Flash already burned, but 113 is in the heart of it all. Humanoid gets over. Shockwave can't kill him, and Upset is now on the chase. Humanoid is flying. Once again, the skies have just descended into his back pocket. We've had 13.5k gold come back. Like, anything's possible in this game, but 113 can't get caught out here. Paranoia to turn the lights off. Would it even help him? He's going to do it anyway. Re-engages to die. 4 versus 5. Humanoid is ready to bring the lights off, but from the universe to say goodnight. Upset, it's a good Shockwave in response. Health bar's blighted, but Ice, even though he gets the kill, BDS, will it be enough? Maybe the answer is yes. Nuke did a great job. Fight. But 113's not there. The lights will remain on, and for Irrelevant, he needs some kind of shadow dash from the gods. Nuke Shockwave not available either. The steal, no. Can't beat a smite as Nuke has run in right in front of Razork. Humanoid is unleashing the beast. Unfortunately, makes it well done in the end for the stake, and while Parus will just sit there and loathe while the rest of BDS drop down. Fnatic are making this look so skilled, so classy, so nice with another triple over to Humanoid for BDS against the first place team. This truly is good night.
Fnatic set their sights on the Nexus in what has been a hard-fought series against BDS. They're looking to lock their spot in playoffs.
The first team to do it in spring of the LEC 2025. Fnatic are your best. KC will follow. And this is what we've got here in Europe. This is Fnatic in peak.
Fnatic have continued to ramp up. And that game 1 was an intense back and forth. A masterclass performance between the two AD carries. But this one, it just felt like once they'd figured out how to respond to the composition of BDS, they just did not let them breathe.